Boom! What is up, Waves Capital? It's Royce Jacob. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are going to be taking a quick look at a few of our favorite crypto stocks on the charts, simply due to the fact that they have been absolutely popping off over the past few sessions. Okay, so although we have been seeing some very impressive upside, the question remains, how high can they climb? And we'll do our best to answer that today from a technical and somewhat fundamental perspective as well. Okay, so let's get into it, you guys. You know the drill. In front of us is TradingView, where we will be kicking it off on the charts, taking a look at the king, taking a look at Bitcoin. The reason for this being the price action of crypto-related equities is obviously heavily dependent on the price action of the crypto markets, which is ultimately dependent on the price action of the king of the crypto markets, which is Bitcoin. So we'll kick off the video taking a look at BTC, and then we'll move on to favorite Bitcoin miner, Riot Blockchain, move on to the MVP of the Bitcoin mining sector, and I'd assume most people's favorite Bitcoin miner, at least the Bitcoin miner that most individuals hold, most retail investors hold, and that is Marathon Digital. And after that, we'll close it out with a little Coinbase talk and talk about our favorite cryptocurrency exchange. Okay, so that is the video, you guys. Let's get straight into it. But before we do, please let me know in the comments down below, what are you thinking about the cryptocurrency sector? What are you thinking about the markets? Are you bullish? Are you bearish? Do you think this is a bull trap? Do you think we're back to the races? Very interested to hear your guys' thoughts because the market is very polarized right now. So please let me know down below. And as always, please rationalize your thoughts and justify your statements. Okay, so looking forward to talking with you guys downstairs in the comments. Anyway, let's talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is currently in both short-term and long-term breakout mode. The reason being, we have broken beyond short-term and long-term resistance. Short-term resistance is this orange line right here. We'll stay in daily candles because we are going to be zooming out. But short-term resistance, Bitcoin has been in this pretty organic, very boring, but organic and somewhat bullish, and has proven to be bullish, I guess, ascending channel, almost perfectly sideways horizontal channel, but slightly going up, slightly higher highs, slightly higher lows. And right now we are setting, I guess, our third higher high of the current of what is a short-term reversal. Okay, so high, low, higher high, higher low. The third higher high we are currently setting in following the breakout of long-term resistance, which is this cyan line right here. So let's zoom out a little bit. Got to get rid of this because that does not change perspective with the rest of the chart, which is annoying. But following the breakout, which we covered in our last video talking about Riot Blockchain, Bitcoin miners, etc., Bitcoin was just about to break out of this line of resistance, and I actually didn't think it was very likely that we would break out of this resistance due to the fact that the equity markets were also facing a significant amount of resistance as well, which has now also been disproven. This market's crazy, but Bitcoin did prove me wrong, did prove some of the bears wrong, and was able to successfully break above this line of long-term resistance. Every trader on earth, every trader who looks at Bitcoin on the charts was eyeballing this line of resistance very hard. And as soon as we broke, as soon as we closed that 4-hour candle, even better, daily candle, above this line of resistance, we did constitute and are now in, once again, a technical breakout. So short-term breakout, long-term breakout, obviously bullish news. From a short-term let's zoom out a little bit and then we'll go short-term just to talk to you guys about why this yellow line right here, why this level around $24,000 has been kind of my bounce target for Bitcoin for a while. So obviously this $27,000 is kind of, in my opinion, at least best case scenario. And 27K is entirely likely just because that was the low of, that was the bottom. That was kind of the base of the previous low on just the series, the general series of lower highs and lower lows from a macro perspective that we're in. So $27,000, I will just say, is best case scenario for Bitcoin, but we do have a lot of resistance here around $24,000, which we are seeing come into play as of just this past candle, as of the past like hour or so of price action. But the reason for this being this was a significant ceiling for Bitcoin back here on the way up. So when we were ripping, when we got into November, December of 2020, when the all-time high from 2017 was broken, The first level we saw since breaking to that new all-time high in December of 2020, the first ceiling, the first area of resistance that we struggled to get through for a week or so over here, just before the new year of 2021, was around $24,000. So again, you guys, history doesn't repeat itself, but it does rhyme. When you're talking about bounces, when you're talking about just general price action, always look at areas from a historical perspective which have acted as ceilings and floors, resistance and support in the past. And it's pretty likely, again, not guaranteed, but pretty likely that those will come into play once again. So $24,000 is, I mean, as of right now, has proven itself to be somewhat of a point of resistance. Again, just a ceiling, just a stoppage point for Bitcoin. Stopped at about 23.8. And right now, as of the short term, we are currently coming down and retesting the short-term resistance, this orange line, once again on this ascending channel as new support. So in the case that Bitcoin breaks below this, breaks back into this ascending channel, then then it's probably likely that maybe we come down to test the bottom line of support on this ascending channel. But as long as we're above this, and if Bitcoin does successfully bounce off of, once again, the short-term line of previous resistance, use it as new support, see climb back up, and if Bitcoin can break above $24,000 or 24K, I do think a climb up to just under $27,000 to retest this candle low over here. I mean, if you want to get super technical, which Bitcoin traders tend to do, that'll take us to about 26,747. It's my lucky number, actually. So 26,747 on the dot is the bull case for Bitcoin right now. But before we dive into Riot, Mara, and Coin on the charts, I do want to read just a quick piece from just one of the many charts we covered this morning on Coinbase, because it kind of covers just my general thoughts on the market right now. And that is that things are feeling quite bullish in this moment. But I want to make it clear that I'm definitely skeptical on the rally we're currently experiencing. This is a pretty ideal macro psychological setup for a bull trap. Macro/psychological setup for a bull trap. Although I'll always be optimistic when it comes to the longer term, I remain cautious when it comes to the shorter term. Okay? And that shouldn't be surprising to many of you guys, especially if you're subscribed to the newsletter, if you're part of the Waves Cap team. This won't come as any surprise to you given everything that we've been covering from a macroeconomic perspective and the headwinds that, even in the wake of better than terrible earnings, that slightly better than expected earnings are kind of shedding some optimism on the markets. They're still not good. And there is still definitely clouds on the horizon, even if those bank earnings, like we've been covering, are kind of creating the facade that they aren't. Okay, so anyway, if you guys want to know how I'm trading on a day-to-day basis, how I'm trading not only Bitcoin, Riot, Mara, Coinbase, all crypto equities, but also growth equities, EVs, biotechs, genome sequencing companies, Editas, CRISPR have been very exciting parts of the portfolio. If you want to know, again, how I personally trade on a day-to-day basis, what the Waves Capital portfolio consists of, you want to join the winning team. Welcome to the winning team. That is going to be $15 a month or $40 for every 3 months, completely up to you. But that is the first link down in the description box below. Once again, if you want to officially join Waves Cap, and on top of the complete breakdown of my personal portfolio, you do also get the 3 newsletters that I write every single trading day. This is just one of the 3. This is the price targets newsletter. Cover real-time price targets and whatnot, all that good stuff. You receive that. That is the last newsletter that I send out of the day. The first is my trade alert, where I talk you guys and walk the talk through the trades that I've made on that given day. Just give you guys my quick thoughts on the market. That is the most time sensitive. We move on to the macro analysis, where I cover the fundamentals, the macroeconomic backdrop, how that's impacting the markets and the portfolio. And then lastly, again, include some of those charts, include whatever I feel is important in terms of price action and technicals to you guys. So again, if you want to join Waves Cap, welcome to the winning team. I'll see you in there. That is the first link down below once again. But if not, no worries at all. Your loss. So let's talk about Riot, Mara, and good old Coinbase. So Riot, once again, following the break of long-term resistance. And this is acting exactly as you'd hope it would. I've seen this play out. I've seen this, I should say, the way we're seeing this play out makes perfect sense, and this is what you'd expect. But I was pleasantly surprised to see this, considering we've actually seen this not play out on a few names recently. Okay, so Riot broke the line of long-term resistance it was in. It was facing, it was struggling to break above since November. Okay, since November 2021, that high about 45 bucks. Riot has been struggling to break back above this line of resistance. But now that it has been popping in the past 2 trading days alone. How much is Riot at? Was that July 18th? So, I mean, right here to where we are today, Riot has climbed about 28%. Again, we'll move on tomorrow, which is just absolutely ripping. Riot is up about 28, just under 30% in the past couple of days, just this trading week alone, following the strength from Bitcoin in the equity markets. But how high can we go? And my answer, as of right now, is not going to be any different than it was in the previous Riot video that we covered, or that I recorded, that hopefully you guys watched. But it is going to be to close this gap. So my short-term target for Riot, in the case that we continue to rip, and again, I am a little bit hesitant, but I do think it's possible. I mean, it's kind of the flip of a coin, in my opinion. And either way, I'm happy. If it goes up, I'm pretty well positioned in Riot, so I'm stoked on that. If it goes down, I'll just strengthen my existing positions because they are longer-term positions. But my short to medium-term target for Riot, in the case that we do see continued upside, is going to be to fill this gap that we set over here in early May, in that range from $9 to about $9.50. So that would constitute a 30 to 35% move up from here. Just to play it safe, if I was personally trading Riot on a short, like if you're trading some risky calls, which I'm not, I typically don't do that. But if you guys are trading Riot for some reason, then I would personally be taking profits at around, just again, to front run the crowd, at about like maybe $8.75, $8.80, just because everyone's looking at this $9 range. So that's Riot in the short term. Mara has been absolutely ripping. And although Mara does have, I mean, it's kind of tomato, 2 peas in a pod, right? Mara has a little bit less upside potential than Riot, in my opinion, but that's because it's been freaking ripping so hard. So let's take a look at Mara. Mara is up in the past 2 days, almost 65%, which is bonkers to see. Going absolutely parabolic, pretty textbook little 2-wave pattern right here. And I do think, once again, with the caveat of whether or not the crypto and equity markets continue to see upside, just released that Tesla earnings prediction video, and I do think Tesla will have rough earnings, so we'll see if that impacts the market. But anyway, I do think Mara can fill this gap as well, that exact same gap as Riot set in early May, which would take Mara to a range from 14 to about 1450, or constitute, I'm guessing, probably 30. Well, from here, that's only about a 10 to 12% move up because we've already ripped so hard. So, of course, if we do correct Mara, when we're looking at a point of resistance, it's pretty obvious to me that Mara is going to come down here to test this line of resistance, or of supports. In the case that we do see a correction, that's a very, very evident line of support right there from a short-term perspective. So in the case that Mara does see downside, let's just say we hit it July 22nd by the end of this week, that would mean we correct about 28%. So we'll see what happens from here, you guys. The momentum is definitely back. It's exciting times for Bitcoin mining sectors. I mean, especially exciting times, honestly, if you're trading any short-term calls. If you're holding on to some calls, like August, September calls, congrats, because those things are popping. But again, right now it always feels good to see the OGs performing. I do remain skeptical, but again, it feels good to see these guys executing price action like this. Okay, so let's close it out with good old Coinbase. I do want to let you guys know that I will be recording a video on a render, Mana, and Sind, good old metaverse cryptos, in the coming days, so stay tuned for that. But let's close this one out with Coinbase. Coinbase is, I mean, finally reached, looks like we're about to reach an intersection point on 2 trend lines that I've had for quite a while. Okay, so Coinbase, I will say the top level, I mean, my kind of best case scenario for Coinbase personally is, again, similar to this gap range that we set in early May once again. And now if we do close that gap, that would take us up to about 95 to 100 bucks just to close the range on this little gap right here. On this little gap over here, you can see. So that's best case scenario. That would constitute, I mean, I think this can happen over time, 47.74, nice as well. Keep seeing that number. Constitutes almost a 50% move to the upside in the long term. And again, I do think that's possible over time. I do just worry a little bit about the short term. But short term, once again, in the case that the markets continue to see relief, that they continue to climb. I do think coin can come up here, test this little trend line over here. This is a janky looking trend line. Honestly, don't know why. I mean, that is a trend line. I guess a gap below it. It has these 2 touch points right here. I feel like that might have gotten a little change, but you guys get the point. That is, I mean, it looks accurate enough. But the main thing with this line of resistance here, the main thing with this trend line and the real point of this intersection is to test long-term resistance. So similar to what we just covered on Riot, similar to what we just looked at on Riot. Come on, stay there. Boom, right there. So dating all the way back to Coinbase's November all-time high at about 370, which is insane. Touch point, next touch point here, creating a long-term line of resistance. I do think it's definitely possible for Coinbase to climb a little higher in the case that we see it maybe in the coming days if crypto, again, continues to rip. Tested by the end of this week. Let's do that this Friday by July 22nd. Damn it, didn't mean to do that. July 22nd. That would take us up another like 10 to 12%. Okay? So that's Coinbase, you guys. Again, do I think we're back to the races? I don't. Just given everything we've been talking about. But do I think there is room for a little more short-term relief, short-term upside amongst these small caps that have gotten overly beaten down? I do. But again, the earnings this week will definitely dictate the well-being of the market. So that is a massive hurdle that we still have to jump over. But right now we're looking good. Always exciting to see, again, even if the short-term sees more downside, always bullish on the long-term. And yeah, we'll always have some diamond fists when it comes to my favorite crypto equities. So let me know in the comments down below what you guys are thinking. Once again, appreciate you watching. And again, if you guys want to know how I trade on a daily basis, join the winning team. I'll see you in there. First link down below as well. And once again, I'll catch you in the comments. Call it a day, you guys. Until next time, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.